desperation. I don't mind. I don't mind. I don't mind. I don't mind. Looking for inspiration in my life. Looking for inspiration all the time. Looking for, looking for, looking for, looking for. Hey!
What is going on, everybody? Man, is it nice out today? Holy crap. Supposed to get like in the 60s here tomorrow, but that's not gonna last for very long. We're out for some wet weather and cooler temperatures, I guess, as far as well. Rich James coming on in. Is that a new... Man, has it been another month already? Holy smokes. I know a lot of my Baba Bong coming in also with a resub. 6 months. Holy crap. 74 there? Yeah, it's not quite that warm here. Supposed to get up to like low 60s here tomorrow, but then it goes downhill from there. Holy mackerel. Trucking guy, welcome. Bob, Torch, Racer James. I need to check. So something I did come to find yesterday when I streamed there. I know there was at least one Twitch Prime sub that I got post. Because I usually check streams, I guess, as far as post stream, just to see how everything went. And a Twitch Prime did not go through. So definitely make sure. This is just a fair mention, I guess, as far as anybody that does stream sub to the channel. And in some cases, whatever, you get that little share. You know, your anniversary or however it words that, I guess, as far as in there, make sure you hit that, because if you don't, chances are that I probably won't. Also, if you don't get that, if you sub to the channel, right, and it doesn't pop up, it doesn't send me a alert, 'cause I should get an alert. There should be an alert on the stream, right? We want to make sure that these get, you know, notified, not only for everybody else, but especially for me, because if I miss that, I'm not able to recognize that, I feel bad. So sometimes what'll happen too, besides that, is got some biddies coming in. Thank you, trucking guy. You got a hype train? Did the hype train start? Yep, we sure did. Hype train just came in with the 2 subs and the biddies. Fantastic. But I didn't want to miss explaining my my thought here. If you sub to the channel and it doesn't start I was like, lost my train of thought. I appreciate the biddies and the subs. You guys are fantastic. If you sub to the channel and it doesn't pop an alert, I guess, on there, refresh the stream. And if it doesn't give you, I guess, as far as to share that with you, or if it doesn't give you the option, I guess, as far as it needs to. Otherwise, I don't know about it until post fact, and it makes me feel bad for not recognizing, I guess, as far as anybody that does sub to the channel. That's the only reason why. Bob bringing in some 5 biddies. Appreciate the buddies. Hype train. We're on level 1. We're at 69% already on level 1. A little less than 4 minutes. Appreciate that. You guys are great. Right off to a fantastic start here so far. But yeah, I did come to that conclusion, I guess, as far as yesterday when we did have a Twitch Prime sub. I noticed that post fact, and it didn't. There was no notification for it whatsoever. So until I checked my analytics on the back end of the channel, came to that realization, I guess, as far as that took place, and it didn't pop. So in most cases, make sure you refresh the stream if it doesn't do that and you sub the channel, because I don't want that to go unrecognized. I mean, if you want to be anonymous, that's fair too. Wait till after the stream is over, because you can. And again, it's not an obligation or requirement, but if you want to send bits, or even sub to the channel while the stream is offline, you can do that as well. If you want to stay relatively anonymous, so that's it. You got options, I guess, as far as that. I definitely very much appreciate, I guess, as far as anybody that does contribute, I guess, in such fashions, though. Very much appreciated. Winner chicken dinner. That's what that was. For all that. So we're a little bit of time left on there. We'll see if we can. We're riding the train right now. Cool. 69% giggity. At least that's what it's showing on my end. I don't know if that's what y'all can see too. Something else that I'm taking the initiative to do here on the channel. If you're not subbed to the channel, one of the things that Twitch is kind of really pushing for is running ads, I guess, as far as during breaks, and or either in the intro of the stream or the outro. So these are suggestions that have been suggested, I guess, as far as by streamers on the Twitch platform, to run these ads, I guess, as far as during that way you don't get interrupted while you're in the middle of streaming because of pre-rolls. All right, so. And that goes for anybody that is not subbed to the channel. So, in an effort, I guess, to try to limit how many ads that non-subs will see, I'm taking the initiative, I guess, to run ads during the intro, the outro, and then I'm going to make a point to run an ad, I guess, as far as whenever we have to do BRB. That way, I can potentially eliminate anyone that's coming in new, that's non-sub, maybe not even following and getting pre-rolls. And not being and missing some of the action that's going on during the live stream. So, yeah, giggity. Still sitting on 69, but still got a little bit more than a minute on that. So yeah, very much appreciated. So what I've got it focused on here right now, you probably all are wondering what's going on with what you're seeing here. I've communicated and spoken with. I guess that's the same thing. With Racer James, and even though I don't necessarily have everything that he's got as far as the level of library that's in his version of the track, there are some things that can still be worked on while he's doing what he's doing. Now, one of the things that, and I think he's already mentioned it last stream, he's adding safer to this. No, the actual track in reality doesn't have safer. So he's taking more of a fictional approach, I guess, to that. From what I've seen, what he's done already, that's looking pretty good. And but with that, while he's doing all that, there's still some things that we can work on here. So this is what I got focused on. There's like a concession stand of sorts here that resides on a hill. And this is all built up, I guess, over here in the turn one area. So this is what we're going to be working on right here. So you can already kind of get a sense here. And this is just one picture reference that we have. And it's kind of a grainy pic, but it kind of gives you an idea of what we're going to be working on today. And it is got this lofted area, as far as like that. I think Racer James had mentioned to me in our communications that the ground on this side of the wall, the outside wall, is actually level with the top of the wall. And there are some other pics that kind of show that. Let's kind of wrote it on here, but this one's a pretty good one here. So on this wall, the outside wall is just on the other side of this ground. It's that ground where the crowd sits and resides is on is level with the top of that outside wall. So that's something that Racer James had mentioned to me as far as what still needs to get done with the outer deal, I guess, of the track. Even with that being said, we can still build this building that I've already shown and adjust that post fact. Yeah, thanks to Torch. Yeah, good point there. So these pictures that I'm leafing through here, these are courtesy of Torch. So he's taking the liberty, I guess, and it's got during the winter. I mean, it's got a bunch of different. Got some. There's the building here too. This is the building that we're talking. This is the back side of it. So we don't have, a ton of really fantastic money shot type of pictures, but you can see it right here. Right here. This is turn 1. So this is the back side of it. This gives us some idea, I guess, as far as what's going on with that. Now, the approach that I took to this, and I'm going to show this in Max in a minute, in a second, but I've taken the approach of the storage buildings that we created previously, and using a lot of that, common building practices application to that, and we'll apply much the same type of deal, I guess, as far as to this building. It won't be the same exact model, because obviously there's going to be differences in size and so on, but relatively the same type of process. So hopefully that'll be useful, I guess, as far as for anybody that's, just to understand what goes into creating these objects, but also for anybody else that wants to divulge into doing this thing for themselves. How do you determine how to create these without any, solid information? So yeah, that's a pretty good shot there. That would be a nice track shot. And there's other pictures, I guess, from around the outside of the track. So like the camping area outside, one of the ticket booths. Razor James has mentioned to me, I guess, as far as with these types of this is what we consider to be a money shot. It's got a lot of really good detail as far as like how these types of structures are designed. Razor James has mentioned as far as like how much he really wants to get into, how much detail to put into this. If anybody had followed the progress, I guess, of the Wilkesboro, the North Wilkesboro build, you can kind of get where I'm coming from. This really gives a sense of where, how much of that it's on a hill as far as the grandstands here on the front stretch. This is basically outside of turn 1. You can see him coming through turn 1, so that building that we're going to be doing is somewhere over in this area. So that's something else that Razor James is going to be working on. Plenty of things that are already applied, but there's still some things in progress, I guess, as far as that Razor James is still working on, namely the grandstand. So that's another picture. Got a nice money shot, I guess, as far as all the bleachers are designed. Here's that turn 1 building that we'll be working on. What's kind of off there in their distance in turn 1. A little bit more detail, I guess, as far as the grandstands. Really good detail of the starter stand. There is an indication here, I guess, that they do have at least this one track condition light. I think there's another shot in here that actually shows that it's a 3-light type of tiered track condition light, and this is the only one that I can see around the track so far, and it's right here just before turn 1. So I'm assuming the way that functions is it's got the 2 alternating yellow lights for caution, and then the 1 static green light. And we can see the static green light. So that's something else that we'll need to get, applied, I guess, as far as at some point. Lighting fixtures, that's something else that's been discussed. Offline, off stream. So, let's see. The starter stand was replaced that year. That was a previous iteration. So that picture that we were just looking at was a previous. Oops, let's go back. So this is not the way it looks currently, is what you're saying? New stand has status lights on the back where the flagger climbs up. Nice. So this is not the current. So they've updated, I guess, as far as the starter stand, what you're saying. Pretty cool. I'm going to go back in here. So do you have this bend in the fence? I want to look here. I know the pictures that you sent me, and I know, like I've already said, mine version that I got here is not at all updated. So these are just straight yet. I know the screenshots that you've shown me, Razor James has the bend in the actual fence, outside fencer. So you've already adjusted that apparently. So I'm just taking notes, because as far as I look at these pictures, as far as what you've already done and what I still have. But not the whole fence leaned over. Gotcha. So it's not lean, it's straight, but it's got the bend on the top. Yeah, so light fixtures, that's something I've taken a look at myself, and it goes back to what I've already said about North Wilkesboro. There are some things that we can recycle from that build to be able to apply to this lacrosse build, mainly like light fixtures. Another outside, a short little, must be like a running track. Yeah, so here's a nice shot of the storage facility that we did in the last few previous streams. That's already applied to the track in the appropriate area. That's a pretty cool shot. A lot of trees. I know Racer James has mentioned me as far as getting the trees, the different, because it's surrounded by trees as far as the whole track. And getting those to look just right so that they don't look too, not much like trees, I guess. It's snowing in Vegas? Good grief. I mean, that's not really unusual. It can snow pretty much anywhere, but yeah, the fact that it is snowing there, that's crazy. And then we got the temperatures like Torch was mentioning as far as like, he's not too far from what I am. He's a little bit southwest of me. You know, and the fact that huge swings in temperature. I know all down south there, they're solid. They're solid in the 70s and almost 80s right now. The Wilkesboro lights look great in there. I think they will too. This is semi-fictional, so it doesn't need to be hyper-specific. Right. Yeah. I think we kind of made that pretty much the point, especially with the application of the safer barrier, I guess, to it. Make it more... as far as I know, though, this track is still in use. It's still active, correct? I've gone to the website there and actually looked at it myself, and that's where a lot of these pictures did come from. Yep, so some detail with the press on the grandstand. I think this is the back side, or is this the front side? I forget. I'm going to say this is probably the back side. It's got some concessions and stuff there. Pretty good detail, though. So they've had some car shows. This was 8/26 of 17, so it's a little bit older. Yeah, it is still being used, right? So this is from 17. Here's another reference shot to that. It's not a really good picture, but it gives you somewhat of an idea of what's involved with this. So I want to say that this is probably all sheet metal. It's got a metal roof, and I want to say this is probably all sheet metal. That's the best guess I can make on that. I don't really have a really close-up picture, but you can definitely tell on the roof it's metal. So it's not asphalt shingles, for example. Here's another shot of the grandstands. And there's that Turn 1 building that we'll be working on during stream. Some really cool shots. We got some other outbuildings in and around the grandstand, so like this deal. At some point we'll need to get constructed. I don't know if that'll actually be created with what the Racer James is doing with the grandstand. Looks newer build, so yeah. Okay. Back side of the grandstands. So that's some pretty good detail. It gets as far as to determine how it's built, you know, what type of materials. We talked about that before. That would help you, I guess, as far as to understand how you would need to build the model. If you understand the materials being used, and if you would have to apply, say, like transparency or not. There's a really good shot of that building too. This looks like, is this newer? Is this the newer one? Or is that still the older version? I don't see those. So here's the track condition light I was talking about in Turn 1. So it gives you a little bit of an indication here, I guess, as far as what they have. At least this one that I know of. So that wouldn't be too hard, I guess, as far as to... We got plenty of already pre-made, already constructed models, I guess, of a track condition light that way. It might be just a matter of retexturing it, I'm thinking. Donuts? What do you mean donuts? Lost me. Oh, older stand here? Okay. This one's older. Okay, gotcha. Just for clarification. So this is still not the current starter stand that they use. Still pretty cool nonetheless, but definitely another pretty solid picture reference, I guess, of that. So I've made some determinations, and again, I'm going to be getting into 3D Max in just a second. I just want to go through the rest of these. This is a really good reference, I guess, for that. I did use Google Earth reference, I guess, as far as to get the top-down dimensions. I've come to determine that it's 9.5 meters, which I forget what that was in feet, long, and it's 15 meters wide. So, considering front, back, and the sides, is how I came to that determination. So, roughly 49 feet wide, and whatever that is, long. And that's what I'll be showing that in Max here. Now, the overall, considering the overall, I guess that includes the overhang of the roof. So obviously that would have to be, brought down. So I'm assuming there's a 2-foot overhang on either side. So I've subtracted that from the overall to get that, the building size, right? And I'll be going over that, like I said, I guess, as far as in Max for a second. So we can understand, I guess, as far as with using common building practices and common measurements like that to determine what that needs to be in comparison to what we can actually measure in, say, such applications like Google Earth to make a determination of how we need to construct that. So that's a really good reference. So here's some I don't know what they had, some other type of event that they had at the track. Doesn't have a date on it. Had a monster truck deal there. This looks like it's I don't know what area of the track that is, but they got some wooden decks on top of, there's even like a little traverse here, I guess, as far as from the press booth there. That's kind of interesting. Not sure what area that's in. There's some badging on here. They got some yellow on the walls. There's another building. Building is as far as outside of the track. Really good picture references though. So this is the back side. Imagine this facing the parking lot. This is pretty cool. I thought this was neat. So amongst the many things, I guess, as far as that Racer James is considering, as far as how much detail to put into it, I'm assuming this is another ticket booth, or they've redone the ticket booth of what we've seen previously. I'm not 100% sure, but obviously it's one of the ticket booths. So that's pretty. I'm assuming this is probably an renovated or an updated version of the ticket booth that we saw previously. A donut stand was in the pic of the. Oh, was there? I wasn't paying attention to that. I'll have to take your word on that. So you noticed the donut stand. I don't want to get too hungry. So this is. So this is no people in the stands. This is pretty cool. So it's actually showing it at night. As far as what you got the press booth up on the top. You got some concessions below that. Up close picture of that. Here's another angle of the ticket booth. So I'm assuming that they must have renovated or upgraded, I guess, that ticket booth, because based on that previous picture that we saw, this is a renovated version of that. Pretty neat. I'm assuming this is the current configuration of that ticket booth. Man, you could really go ham. So there's a coming into the track from the backside. So there's where that's at. We saw a closer up picture of the backside of the grandstands there. So yeah, they definitely looks like they re-sided the press booths and such, I guess, as far as for main grandstand. So there's a mixture, I guess, of older pics and newer pics. What I'm getting from this. So there's a aerial, looks like a drone pic. They had a car show there. Yep. So yeah, this looks like this is older. Doesn't have a date on it, but I get a sense of what's going on here. I know Racer James and I had conversed, I guess, about the flag stand, where the flag pole, as far as where they raised the flag. He's got a still picture of a track attendants or whatever that are raising the flag. So it's probably right in this area, is what we're guessing. Right close to, so the victory lane would be adjacent to that, to the bottom corner here, and obviously the start finish line. What I found kind of interesting about this, they got the starter stand right here, but yet the start finish line is right there. I thought that was kind of interesting. Yeah, so the starter stand seems to be like right here, so it's like just before the actual line, the start finish line, if I'm looking at that right. Yeah, it is. It's definitely pretty weird from what I'm noticing. But a lot of this has already been depicted in the track and sandbox. So we got this track here with that retaining wall and such is already in the track, even in this version that I have. So you have that all present right here. That's all this is right here. So I know Racer James got a lot more done to it, but this is already all in here. So that's pretty cool, I guess, to see these in reality here applied actually to the virtual track and sandbox. So they have an Oktoberfest. Let's look like an advertisement for that. So this is front stretch. Got the back stretch. Got that storage facility out in the back stretch. Another picture of that. Another angle. Yep, another pretty cool picture, I guess, as far as the storage facility on the back stretch. Light fixtures. So that gives us an idea of how the light fixtures are. They seem to only have the light fixtures, for the most part, on the infield. I haven't seen so much, I guess, as far as on... I'm not to say that there isn't any, but there's majority of them that seem to be on the infield and face onto the track. So that's just something we take in. So sign probably outside of the track to kind of advertise for the track. What I'm guessing there. That's pretty cool. That might be something that... so if this is fairly visible, I guess, as far as from... yeah, something that could be constructed or put together. Spring break. Well, how do you mean spring break? Officially, spring it would be about kind of another couple weeks yet. We're currently sitting on what, the 5th of March. So yeah, we got a couple weeks before actual spring officially. Week away. Gotcha. Yeah, we've got it. We got maybe a couple weeks before official spring. This is approximately. There's approximately 67 light pots on the front stretch stand. Oh, gotcha. I think we might have missed that, I guess, as far as looking at some of those. So some badging on the walls. These are probably older, I'm assuming. Some of the billboards. Yeah, that's definitely older. This is coming out of turn 4, looks like. Some of the billboards. And obviously the tree line. Pretty decent shot, I guess, at the grandstands. Some more detail, I guess, as far as on the concessions and such. And there's another picture. So this is primarily the picture that I've gone by, because it's the only one that's got it pretty isolated. I know it's a pretty grainy picture, but it really gives you a lot of information, though, as far as the size. So with getting that dimension, I guess, as far as what I've already mentioned, about the 9.5 long and the 15 meters wide, it really gives you an idea. And considering this as far as the overhang for the roof, I was able to determine what the size of these doors are and such. Just even though it's pretty grainy, and just considering this as far as standard sizes for these types of things. So these, what I've also taken into consideration here, from what you can tell, even though it is pretty grainy, these two doors that are on the outsides are narrower. They're not as wide as the two in the middle. So, and I'll be going over that in a little bit more detail in a second. But this is pretty much the main picture that I've used, I guess, as far as for determining and justifying it as far as what I've found in Google Earth. Would be cool to do doors and close. I think mine's work alike here, Racer James. That's actually something that I've taken into consideration with that. So seeing the pictures that show the doors open and obviously this one's shut, that's the approach that I've actually taken with this as far as the script goes. So the script, let's kind of go over this for a little bit. So just putting all these pieces together and kind of putting a roadmap together just as far as of what how would this thing get constructed based on size and what do you want it to do as far as the final piece. I've already set up the script to make 2 different models that'll show during different sessions. So one with the doors open, one with it closed. And this is kind of a really loose layout for the script right now. I may or may not need to change some of this once we get it, down to getting to that point. But this is the preliminary layout, I guess, as far as for the script, and that's taking into consideration the 2 different models that'll show during different sessions, to include population, being able to turn it on or off. Okay, so good thing you mentioned that. So I think mine's work alike. Oh, absolutely. Just like we did with the storage facility, as far as to have those couple of doors open during the race. In fact, that's what we've got. Just to kind of summarize what we've already done. So this is during a race. These have already been refined, I guess, as far as since that stream. So you got this door open and the one on that end open. And you should still be able to see that even with that tree line in there is what I'm thinking. I don't have the tree line in here just yet. I know that's something that Racer James has already mentioned he's still working on. So yeah, you should definitely be able to see a little bit of the detail, I guess, as far as for that. We tried to keep these relatively low poly. Not a lot going on with it as far as now with this one in comparison to this structures that we made. Probably going to add a little bit more detail to the construct of this building, because you'll be able to see all that because it's like almost front and center as far as into turn one. So we don't want to make this too simple, but not go nuts with it. The only thing that it will have is just, based on texture, just being able to change it from one model to the next during whichever session. We can have these open or closed. That's really the only difference with it. So it'll be still relatively a simple model, but we'll be adding a little bit more detail to it to have, say, like the soffit as far as the overhang. We'll be putting these little pinnacles on there. Obviously, you'll be able to see that. And just how much detail we'll put on it, that's still yet to be determined, but hopefully you get the point. Yeah. Alright, so let's continue through these. This is a little bit further over, so they must have some type of monster truck event there. Some of these pictures here are kind of a little bit grainy, but you can get some level of detail out of that, I suppose. This is a really cool shot. Okay, so is this one the current one? So since we're going on this picture, this looks like this might be a little bit more current. Yeah, and here's that placement of that starter stand. Look at this. So this is kind of gives us the justification for that. Start-finish line's right here, but they got the flag stand before that. It's not right on top of it, like most tracks would do, which is kind of odd. I'm assuming they probably got it that way for other events that they run at the facility. Like if they're running events on this thing here, they probably need it here. I can only kind of guesstimate, I guess, on that. Those aren't lights; they are just flags. So these here, so they don't light up or anything like that. They just kind of, I guess I don't know how that actually functions. So this is the current configuration, I guess, of the starter stand. Got it. These are flags. So what do these actually do? Do they actually light up? I'm sure they can probably tell who's, what the flagger's waving. This one's a restart zone? You thinking? I was thinking this was the start-finish line, but I don't know. I could be wrong. I don't know. I've never been to the facility. That fence is also more vertical too. This fence? Okay. It's hard to tell from this perspective. So they must have taken some of the lean out of it. This is what I mean. It's just a banner representing racing flags. Okay, so it's just kind of a clue. For those that don't know anything about racing, I suppose, of what's what. It's interesting, though. Yeah, so for anybody that's new to racing, that doesn't know how it works or whatever, that's kind of an explanation. So here's same thing here. So there's a couple of different variations of the light fixtures, right? So this one only seems to have 2 pots. Racer James already mentioned there's 5 to 6 on the majority of them. And that gives you some of that indication here. So there's a couple here that have just like a couple pots. And, but a majority of them do tend to be like just on the infield. With the exception, I guess, of the ones that Racer James mentioned on the grandstand. Okay, so yep, this is the front side of that. So that's a little bit more detail at night. That shows those closed. That'd be neat. And we're back to the snow one. Okay, so we've already gone through all these then. So yeah, here's the previous iteration, I guess, as far as of that. So they must have redid this. That has the log cabin look to it, I guess, now. So this is an older version of that. But it's still, you can still get a lot of good information out of the dimensions of, you know, as far as the openings here and such. You know, let's say you can use this guy's height. He's probably, you know, probably a decent 6 foot. You can get a sense of, you know, how wide and tall these openings are all around. Yeah, so you can kind of take some of the guesswork out of it, because as far as just a lot out of this picture, this is what, like I said, we consider a money shot. Not to mention, I guess, as far as what type of signages are on these. Pretty neat. So yeah, I would guess the other picture that we have with the log cabin look to it, this is a older version of that ticket booth. Pretty good detail in the fencing, I think. This is outside of turn 1. Already said. I'm gonna get back to that picture. Okay, so that, yeah, it's an older one. We got at least one shot anyway of the current flag stand, which Racer James is already working on. I think he's already got that taken care of. Yeah, so here's a picture of with the doors open on it. So just like we were saying, as far as to have an iteration of it, as far as with them closed and one with them shut. Closed and one with them open, I should say. Let's go back to... I'm gonna keep it on this one here for now. So between this one and the other grainy picture are pretty decent. So the other one shows it closed, these are open. But it gives you a little bit of detail. And I want to say, like I've already mentioned, there's probably sheet metal as far as on that. So it's not wood or siding. I think they're vertical. The ribs on it, you can kind of tell a little bit if you look close enough. You know, it might be hard to tell on stream. So that's the approach I'm going to take to it as far as texturing it, at least. If we do tend to get any more money shot type of references to that, we can obviously adjust it based on that. But we should be able to get the cutouts for the openings for it with pretty much no problem. Okay. Right. Catching up on chat here, make sure didn't miss anything. Cool. I've got a ton of viewer bots in my chat bot, and it's crazy. It's kind of creepy in a way, actually. I'm not gonna lie. All right, so just double checking that. Ready then. Yeah, this is what we're gonna go by. So let's get into my explanation. I guess as far as kind of already hinted on that, I've already got the preliminary layout for this right here. I got the ground planes already scaled and sized up. I even took the liberty, I guess, of putting that information of what I measured, I guess, as far as in Google Earth. So it's 15 meters this way, which is roughly 49. And this is just considering the top-down view, so the roof, as far as to include the overhang. So we need to adjust it accordingly, I guess, as far as for that. 15 meters wide and 9.5 meters long. And that's considering this is the front, back, or vice versa, front, back. Right? So, again, just applying common building practices. And what I did, again, also what I've already tried to explain, this peak, this ruler here, represents the peak of those storage facilities. So, roughly 23 feet to the peak, from the ground to the peak. Now, whether or not that'll actually be the peak, so we don't have the height information for this here. So, I'm using that as a starting point. Whether or not I'll need to decrease that or not, which I'm thinking I'll probably need to do, will still need to be determined. So as I put this thing together, I can compare this, I guess, as far as with the reference picture here, and you know, we can move from there. If I didn't mention it already, as I think we've already determined, this area, the area to where this building resides, is lifted, so it's up on a hill. That is currently not in. It's not in the track here yet. So, post fact of building this from the ground level, you know, as far as at zero, if you will, that area where it will reside, which is roughly over here, will be lifted, and we'll be able to place that. So I'm assuming, with what Racer James has got in here, that building resides approximately right here. I'm assuming this is the shadow coming off that pinnacle that's on top of that roof of that building. I could be totally wrong, but that's kind of almost what it looks like to me. So that building resides roughly about that position. So that's where I'm going to put it preliminary, in a preliminary fashion, at least anyway, so we have some place to put it in the track so we can test it out in the sim. If it does need to be moved later on, then we'll do that when it calls for it. Okay. Alrighty then. So we got Max open. Like I said, we already got this. So I've already made these cutouts here. They're all individual yet. So what I've done, and again, using common garage door sizes in comparison, much the same that we did for the storage facility. 9 foot on these. So we end up with 42 feet on this side, I think is what I'm going by memory. Considering the soffit, so the size of the building itself would ever be 42 feet, right? And this ends up being, I think, I don't know if I still got the... So what I did, based on what I've already shown in the picture reference, these two here and here are wider, just slightly. So what I removed, I guess, from that, so I took that 42 feet, I think it was 40 feet, now that I think of it. 40 foot and divided into 4, because there's 4 doors. If they were equal, it would be 10 foot each. So I subtracted 1 foot off of each of these and added that 2 feet each of these. And that fills that in there. And then, of course, with the 1 foot of spacing, I guess, between all the doors. And I'll be able to adjust these independently as we progress here. So I don't think I have them exactly where they need to be. So I'll be able to adjust those and tweak it. Yes, I'm still here. Gotta let Mr. Technoax know. Alright. Cool deal. Alright. I'm being very vigilant, I guess, as far as checking out status of stream there because of all these viewer bots that are in my chat. You all can't see that, but I can. So I'm just making sure there's no wrongdoing. Okay. I think we're good to go. Alright, so hopefully that does explain a little bit of what I was trying to do here. I'm going to make another ruler just to kind of refresh my memory as far as how wide. I think I made this to include the roof, so I may need to adjust these even more. Yeah, so this one here, yeah, I still got that size. Oh yeah, this is the 15 meters. That's including the size of the roof, so I will absolutely need to resize these from what I have them. That's not a big deal. Okay. Yeah, so this here, as far as the width of this, that's including the roof. That's a top-down measurement. So this is including the size of the soffit, which is, I'm assuming, again, using common brim thread, this is about a 2-foot overhang. So if we subtract 4 feet from that, that gives us 11 meters, right? So let's just break this down. A lot of this math I already did previously, but obviously I'm going to need to adjust that. So, yeah, 4 feet we need to take off on the end, so that's going to be breaking this down to 11 meters, which is, I don't know, another thing I forgot to bring up here. Hold on a second. I got to bring up my little conversion thing. Give me a memento. Let's get this here. I knew I forgot something. I thought I had everything, but I already did a lot of these calculations already, so I guess that's why I missed it. So let's do a conversion tool. Oh my goodness, helps when you spell it right. Meters to feet, or feet to meters, either way. It'll be backwards compatible. Alright, so let's put this in. Need to bring that bad boy over here. There we go. Okay. Oh my goodness, I got too many tabs open. Alright, bring this back up and that back up. Then on the other monitor. Sweet. Alright, so now what we need to do is we got 11 meters to work with. Width-wise, that's 36 feet. So, yeah, I definitely need to adjust this. So I based it, the size of these openings, based on the 42 feet, which was the 15 meters. Yeah, 49, and subtracted 4 from that. And that was 45. And then I had to take off the 1 foot between. Yeah, it's okay. So there was. All right, let me. So the method of my madness here, I took the 15 feet, initially. I took the 15 feet, that's roughly 49 feet, subtracted 4, got me 45, and I need to subtract another 5 feet to, hold on, another 5 feet for the 1 foot spacing between each door, so to include the corners. So that gives me 40 feet. But that also, like I said, that's including the roof, and we don't want to include that for the actual building itself. So we need to make an adjustment. Okay, let's go back. Gosh darn, I got so many tabs. Bear with me. So what we need to do is base it on 11 meters. That's taking the 4 feet off, so that's 36, and we got to subtract 5. So that accommodates for the 1 foot spaces in between each door. Okay, so that'll be 31 feet. So we can go like this, and this will determine equally 31 feet. So 9.44 meters. That is, so now we would need to divide this by 4 because there's 4 doors. Some calculation. So 31 feet divided by 4 doors. No, this will make them, these are equal. So it's just 7. So we'll have to adjust from there. That's if they were equal doors. And we don't want them equal because we want these two to be a little bit wider. And that's going by this picture reference. You can see those are a little bit wider than the ones on the ends. That's going to really, that's less than an 8-foot door. I guess that's interesting. I would, okay. Yeah, so I'll have to redo these cutters. Alright, so what I want to do, I think I'm going to make another box that's going to represent the 11 meters wide by, and I got to do the other direction too, so that's 9.5 meters, subtract 4, 2 feet on either side. Let me look at the picture here. Yeah, it's hard to tell in here. I don't know if it's got the 2 feet on the front and back too. Definitely tell on these gables here, but I'm not 100% sure. So I'm just going to take the assumption that it's 2 feet overhang all the way around. And so with that, we'll have 4 feet to take off from the length of that too. Okay, so the 9.5 subtract 4. Okay, let's see if we can make a determination here. So we'll do, back to my tab here. So from the, yeah, 31 divided by, yeah, so that's good there. So we'll come back to that one here in a second here. So we want to do the 9.5 meters, subtract 4, that's 5.5 meters. That gives us 18 foot, basically. So 18 foot, so I want to make another box that's 18 foot long and 31 feet wide. Yes, okay, cool. So let's make another box, and that's going to represent the actual building itself. This box that I currently have in here is taking into consideration the roof from the top down view. Right? Okay, so let's do this. Let's go top down. I'm going to make another box and make one and lay down a box here and size it. Alright, size it from here. So what we want to do, we want the width to be 11 meters. Okay, and then we want the length to be 5.5. And we'll make it, now I did consider this to be, I forgot how tall, I think it was a 8-foot ceiling? I'm trying to remember now. I think I figured a 8-foot ceiling. I think that's what I figured. I think it was 8 foot. What I can do, 8 foot, let me put that in here initially, and we can see where I came up with initially here on this other box that I already have. Let's do this. But I think it was an 8-foot ceiling. That's pretty standard, I guess, for most buildings. 8 foot, that's going to be 0.4. So we're going to do it this tall. Copy that. And paste that into our height for the box. Okay, So what that should do, let's put that right in the center of that. So there's our new box. Let's see how we're at here. Does that look about right? For some reason that doesn't look right to me. Let's center this up. Divot center. And completely center that out. Okay. That look right? So consider, if you will. No, I didn't size that right. What did I do wrong? I did something wrong. That's way more than 2 feet. Yeah. So I figured something wrong. What did I? Let me go back to my calculations here. I would guess the upper peak at 16 foot. Oh yeah, as far as the peak of that, like I said, I put it initially at 23, just like the storage facility, just as a placeholder, at least for now. I'm sure it's probably not that big of a pitch. Yeah, based on what I've got here for this first initial box, I can 100% guarantee it's probably not quite that tall. So yeah, the 16 to 20 is probably pretty reasonable. Okay, yeah. So I need to go back to my calculator. This does not look right, I guess, as far as let's see. Let's where did I go wrong on my calculation? So we got 15 feet on this one. We subtracted 2 feet, so I did 4 foot. That gives me 11. Did I not make that 11? Double check here. Well, 11 meters wide. Why does that look so off? That doesn't look right. So I must have figured a 9-foot ceiling on this one here, because obviously that's too short. Let's set it to 9. So I must have went with a 9-foot. So I think I ended up doing a 7 or 8 foot high door, I think is what it was. So it's a 9-foot ceiling on the building is what I could. Whether or not that's correct, I'm not 100% sure. This is all, again, just using common building measurements. Okay, so I need to go 9 foot on the height of this box. Up another foot. That's this value. And let's adjust it accordingly. We'll make this a 9 foot. Like so, there we go. Now, where did I go wrong on... Am I not figuring that right? So if this is 15 feet that I determined, I guess, as far as 4, and we subtract 4 feet, because that's 2 feet on either side, from that original 15, it gives us 11 meters, right? So this is at 11 meters. Why does that look so much wider? And more than 2 feet on either side. I can't imagine that would be less than 2 feet of an overhang. Let me see. Let me take a look at her picture. Because I was considering these spaces in between each door was a foot. So, but taking that in consideration, these are 1 foot. That would have to be more than 1 foot. Unless I'm wrong in my determination as far as how wide of spacing there's between each door. If there's less than a foot, then that would throw everything else off. 11 feet, not meters. Thank you. All right. I knew I did something wrong. Okay, so there you go. It's just the conversion of it. I knew it was probably something stupid. Yep, you're not wrong. So what I need to do is do 11 meters. What is that in feet? That's 36 feet. There we go. So we need... Wait. No, that's still not right, because... Hold on. I'm getting all confused. So what I'm going by when I take the 4... Oh, I took 4 feet. So what is 4 feet? So I need to know in... Okay. I got it now. So what is it in 4 feet in meters? That's how much I need to subtract. Oh, okay. I got it. Brain fart. All right, so what I need to do is... How much is 4 meters? I need to subtract off 13 feet. Right? Yeah. 13 feet. So I need to subtract this much. Yeah, we're just going to do 13 feet. 13. I'm getting myself all kinds of confused. So 4 feet is how many... I still did that wrong. Dang it anyway. 4 feet, I need to put that in here. 4 feet is this many meters. Okay, there we go. Now it makes more sense. It's like, what the heck? I went completely backwards on that. So we need to take off this much. So basically, we can round that probably to 1.25, just to make it simple. Yeah, we'll do 1.25. We need to subtract from the 15 meters. There we go. Now I think we're cooking with Crisco. We need to make this take 15. Yeah, we're getting it figured out. We'll just do minus 1.25. Make it simple. So we need to get it down to 13.75. There we go. Now we're good. 13.75. That's more better. Now we need to pivot, center that, and we'll make sure we're centered on both of those. Now I think we're good. I need to get the depth. I did that wrong too. So we need to subtract off that same value from the 9.5. Going that way. So yeah, I took it. Yeah, I took the whole 4 feet, which we're dealing with meters in here. And part of the reason why we're using meters in max here is because that's the unit of the measure, I guess, for Enter 2003. That's the only reason why. Should mention you can work in American and Max, but it does cause buku problems using. Yeah, I'm using meters in Max because that's primarily what the units of measure for Sandbox and Enter 2003 happen to be. But to kind of have it make sense as far as common building practices, obviously you would deal in inches and meters, so that's the reason why I'm going back and forth with that, just in case anybody was wondering. Alright, so we need to take that same value, the 1.25, and subtract it from the 9.5. Let's do a simple calculation here. So 9.5, subtract the 1.25 from that. We need that to be 8.25. There we go. So now we've got our eve, and we're going to go ahead and center this. Okay, and yep, so that's all completely centered. So now we should have a 2-foot overhang all the way around this deal. In theory, at least. Now we did round it too. So it's probably going to make it a little bit off, which was understandable. So in order to get that true 2-foot, this, going to adjust it manually here, like so. So now we got that 2-foot all the way around. So that is going to be the actual building. Okay. Now what I can do from here, I don't need the rest of this box other than the top of it, which is going to be the roof. So that much, from the top down view, that much is correct. What I'll do, that one I still have it that way. I'm going to make a clone of this. I'll be able to erase it later on, but clone of that. So I have it to reference, because what I'm going to do with this other one, I can do it to either one, it doesn't matter. I'm going to go to this one, and I'm going to convert this to an editable poly. And we're going to take off some stuff, because we don't need all of it. Because this is going to represent the... Did I take it off? I think it did. So the only thing we want to keep is that one piece there. Okay. Let's take out the ground plane here for a second. Hide that. I want box 1, not box 3. So go to my items list. Alright, go back to poly. Oh, I got the other box in there, that's why. It's like, why is that? It doesn't look like it's deleting. I need to take out this box. That's just my clone, my copy. I'm just going to hide that, put it out of the way. There we go. So all I'm trying to do is just isolate the one plane off this box, which is going to represent our roof. Okay. Let's take all... Come on now. Work with May. Yep, so all I'm keeping off of this is just the roof. So this gray is going to represent our roof. So we need to loft that. I'll do, that being said, let's raise it up here. So we already know that we're probably going to need to lower this peak. Like Racer James is mentioning, probably a 16 to 20 foot max. Right now it's at 23. So if we were to basically pivot that, you know, as far as to pin that to this edge here, that would be a pretty steep pitch, and we don't witness that here. It's a pretty gradual pitch. It's not like super steep. So it's probably a fair assessment, I guess, as far as what the peak will actually be. Alright, so we're just going to use that as a guide for that. What I'll probably end up doing is building off the peak edge, right? So off of this deal here, now that we've made that determination here, I can probably lower this down. Right now it's set to, I'm trying to remember, I thought it was, I think it's this value right here. Let me plug this into our conversion thing. I think that's the 23 feet. That here. No, that's not right. Hold on. Go back here. What do I got it on here? That's this. That's the width. So that must be the. That's this value then. Yeah. So we gotta plug this one in there. I couldn't remember which value was which. All right. Paste. Yeah, roughly 23 foot high at that peak. So this peak that we've got the center is 23 feet. So if we want to go, let's say 20, so we'll take 3 feet off of this. Let's just set it to 20 feet, which is going to be, let's go back. I want to set it to 20 feet, so taking roughly 3 feet off of that, it'll be this value. So copy that. We're getting the hang of it now. Put this value into meters. That still looks too steep. I'm almost thinking it's probably going to be closer to 16 feet. If you look at this from the side, you can see what that pitch would be based on the top of the building, how much of a pitch that would be. That going by this picture reference, that seems too steep, to me at least anyway. So let's go down a little bit more on this. Let's take it down to 16 and see what that looks like. This for giggles. So let's go 16 foot. That might be too low, but we'll try it. A lot of this is kind of guesswork because we don't 100% know what that pitch is. So we'll go back into max, plug that in. Go. Now, I think the other thing I'm taking out of consideration here, hold on. I know what I boo-booed on, so I gotta readjust my pivot. Let's put this back to, yeah, let me put this back to 20 feet. I did not adjust the bottom pivot on it. Let's put this back here for just a minute though. Yeah, so just as I plug that back in here, I'm not adjusting that pivot, so I'm not putting that edge exactly to 0, and that's going to throw off as far as how this is going to position itself. Let's put it back to here. This is representative of 20 feet. Let's pull this out here. Let me hide this actually for a second. Go back to this. I need to put that pivot back on that edge. Put my edge snaps. We want to affect the pivot only. Back on that edge. Okay. And then throw this out. That pivot. Now we'll put this back to 0. There we go. So just like we would measure with a ruler, you want to start at 0 first to get that accurate measurement. So this is representative of 20 feet, right at 0. Bring back our building, which is 1. No, not that one. Which building did I? Oh, it's still yellow. There we go. This is the one we want to use. So that is representative of 20 feet. Now, if we move this down, this is representative of our roof. Okay, so we put that at the peak. And we can get real critical with this here and either just clip it into it like this, or we can actually adjust the pivot to this peak. Just like we did with the ruler. We're kind of using this as a ruler too. Let's affect the pivot. We'll snap this to, say, this edge. Okay, and then we'll zero out on the X and Y. No. My bad. I goofed it. Wrong one. We got to do it on the X and the Z. Nope, not the Z. Probably just on the X would be fine. And that's just going to center that up in that there. That's all I was trying to do. Do that. Now we can get a couple different ways you can probably do this. So we need to get the Y coordinate, which is 0. So all we got to do, with that being where it's at now, we can zero out the Y. Okay. And then also set that to, yeah, that should be lined right up with that now. So that's lined right up with that now. That's what we were trying to accomplish. Cool. So now that is representative of 20 foot. Now, again, if we were to take this and in this edge to that, what kind of pitch does that give us? Alright, so let me hide this one. I'm going to actually name this as roof ruler. And we're going to hide that. Let's see. Yeah. This is not going to be a part of the actual building. Using that just as a reference. And then we're going to hide that. And the reason I want to do that is because we put here a modifier. So we're still keeping this here so that we maintaining it as far as the size of that. What we're going to do is actually go off an edge here and build off of that. So just to get an idea of what this is going to look like if we actually were to pitch it, you know, as far as to actually make a roof out of this. Who's honking? Torch is honking. Looks like 35-degree pitch. 35 degrees? Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell. Yeah, so I'm just getting an idea, just to get an idea of what kind of pitch we've got here. I just want to look at it visually here. What it is actually, I have no idea. It's definitely not a 45, that's for sure. It's less than 45. That way much we can turn those vertex. I'll snap these two here to that. This will give us an idea of what that pitch is going to look like, at least anyway. I like to see it visually, I guess, as far. There. That's what that pitch would look like. Now, if you look at our picture reference, probably not too far off there. Now, this is representative of 20 feet. 20-foot pit, peak. Right? So I'm almost thinking it's probably going to be a little bit less than that. Yeah, it's going to be less than 20 foot. Yeah, so I'm just, I know you're taking the approach of doing degrees. I don't want to go that. I don't want to go that route as far as the angle that way. I would just rather determine what the peak is and just build off of that and get that visual. I mean, you could definitely go that route. Not saying that's a wrong way, but I'm trying to keep it more simple, just as far as to not mix up degrees with feet and inches and all that stuff. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too, Rachel. It might be closer to 16. This is representative of 20 foot peak. Yeah, so we get this visual. So I'm more of a visual type of person, so I compare this to my picture reference. I can see that seems way too high of a pitch. So if we bring this down to 16 on that, let's do that next. So what I'm going to do is just bring this all back. Back this up. So, alright, and then we'll go back to this. We're going to delete this. We'll bring it back, don't worry. Just to isolate it to this. So now if we bring this down to the 16 feet, this is representative of 20, like I already mentioned. We're going to hide this here too for a second. Hide that, get that out of the way. Alright, let's put this at 16 feet, so like this. Now we can go ahead and apply that. Now we'll take this value, meters, apply that to our peak. And then we got to adjust our pivot. And there's more than one way, I guess, to go about this. The approach I like to take to this when I adjust the ruler like this is just, whoops, snap it to the edge. Snap it back to the edge like so. And this is the approach I take. I'm not saying this is the way you have to do it. That's the way I like to do it. And then just zero back out the X and Y. That way I know it's completely centered on that ruler. And then just bring the the Z back down. Whoops. Take it off. Effect pivot though. Back it up. Make sure you take it off effect pivot when you want to bring it back down to 0. Like that. That's the approach I take for adjusting that. Okay. There's probably a quicker way, but that's easiest for me. So this is representative of a 16-foot peak. We'll bring back our box. This box. Alright, now if we build off this one, stream freeze? I don't know, is it? Not showing on my end. It's not showing on my end. I'll pause for a second just to make sure. Video's frozen. Try to refresh. Showing good on my end, but it might be just and this is what the types of things that I work. I got all these viewer bots in my freaking driving. I don't know if that's what's bogging it down. Hopefully not. That's why I've been a little bit leery, I guess, as far as I don't know why all these viewer bots are in here. I'll give it a second then. I don't know if I can, hold on a second. There's no way I can bounce these guys either. Let me try something here. Just a minute. I should... They just popped in all of a sudden during the start of stream, so I don't know if that's what's causing what you guys are experiencing. Just a second here. I would 100% probably guarantee it's probably something to do with all these viewer bots. Just a second here. You all can't see that more than likely, but I can. It's not gonna let me do it. Son of a biscuit. Now I was hoping to maybe purge some of these, but it's not gonna let me do it. Twitch needs to fix that. That's all I can say. Try scene. What do you mean? Oh, you want me to move around is what you're saying? I'm sorry. That's probably what helped. No, so yeah, let me see if I move around. I don't know if you can see it's still frozen or not. Moving it around. So if it's not moving for you. What do you mean switch stream scene? I know what you mean. I've only got the one scene, other than going on to the game itself. Maybe I'll try a BRB. How about that? Go into BRB for a second. Yeah. But also I did move around in the scene here, so if you're not seeing that or any movement, I guess, as far as in max here, then obviously that's still a problem. Is anybody else having that problem? Torch, anybody else that's in stream? Or is it just on your end there, Racer James? I'm not going to continue, I guess, as far as until we get that. Oh, it would not surprise me if it's some all these viewer bots that I got. I don't know what the heck that's all about, but it wouldn't surprise me if that was part of the problem. But if nobody else is having the frozen video issue, then it might be just on your end. That's what I want to make the determination for. I'm gonna continue to work here. So as long as you say you're still hearing audio, it's just the video's frozen. I'm hoping it's just on your end. I don't know how you would fix that, but the torch is saying it's froze there too, huh? That's no bueno then. What is it froze on anyway? Is it on any particular? Can you see max? This is not cool. I don't know if there's anybody else in chat or whatever that can verify. That's two that have confirmed or whatever that it's frozen. I don't know. Other than to refresh, that's the only thing I can suggest. Definitely no problems on my end. Max when you restore to peak from edible poly. Okay. That's what I did. Oh, that's no bueno. What the heck is going on? Come on, Twitch. Good grief. It's got to be these viewer bots then. There's a ton of them in here. I don't know. Won't let me do anything with them either, unfortunately. Try something else too. So in the player, you have the player settings on it. See if I got any transcoding. I don't even have that. So see if you can either lower the resolution. So it should be at 720 60p native. So if that's all it shows you, then try putting it on auto. That's what I've tried on my end too, just to see. Now, let's see. I'm checking stream myself on other monitor just to see. It definitely still looks like it's frozen though. Yep. Okay, let me try this. I'm gonna try this on my end. I'm kind of doing the same thing y'all are. Put this on. I do got transcoding. That's crazy. That's unusual. Okay. Yeah, so the fact that I've got the uptime. What does the uptime say for y'all? On the bottom, towards the bottom right, what does it say for uptime? Yeah, so I noticed that in my dashboard too. 110.56. That's exactly what it says for me too. All right, so we're witnessing the same thing. I'm experiencing the same thing when I check the channel. That's not good. There's absolutely no way I can fix that. It's got to be these viewer bots. What the heck, man? So even if I change the resolution to a lower one, it still doesn't do a dang thing. Come on, Twitch. What are you doing to me? Fresh. I'm trying all the same things you folks are, so bear with me. I don't know what else I can do. I'm still stuck there. I'm at a loss here, folks. I don't know what else to do. It's got to be these viewer bots. There's a ton of them in here, and I think that's it's doing something to the video. Yep, so I'm stuck at the 1 hour, 10 minutes, 56 seconds. Same as y'all. That is not good. So y'all can still hear the audio, right? It's just the video. I'm gonna ensure that I'm not, yeah, because like I said, they're, oh, so you can see those. Yeah, it's the same thing I'm seeing. It's ridiculous. And the thing is, it won't let me do a squatting thing with them. Yeah, so audio's doesn't do any good, I guess, as far as being able to live stream. Need video. I can't do a dang thing with these bots, though. The fact is, they're not even giving me any views, so I don't even know what the heck they're doing in there. I don't know what else to do, folks, other than just end the stream. I don't know. As much as that sucks. Yeah, this is definitely a problem with Twitch, because if everybody that's probably coming here is probably having the same problem. So if you're having it, I'm noticing the same thing. We've all confirmed that. We're all witnessing the same thing. There's nothing I can do about that. I would have to completely end stream. I don't even know if that would 100% fix it. It's a problem. This is really upsetting. Yeah, so much for trying to earn them some content. You know, it wouldn't surprise me if it has something to do with the way these ads. So I already mentioned that in an earlier part of the stream, the way they're trying to encourage, I guess, as far as the streamers to play more ads, breaks, and things like that during stream. I don't know if this is their... I don't know. This is really upsetting me, though. The fact that I'm on here trying to make them money, and they're going to do this to me. Yeah, there's gratitude for you. I don't want to end stream at all. I got plenty to go over with, but this is... there's no way I can fix this. This is really upsetting me right now. I'm going to be perfectly honest. I cannot do a squatting thing with these bots. I'm going to have to put in a support ticket and basically stress my disappointment here. It's not cool. I mean, granted, I'm not that big a streamer, but I'm still making the money when I am live, I guess, as far as with the ad stuff and whatever. So, yeah, to say the least, I am not very happy. Yeah, I don't even think me restarting the stream, just stopping and restarting is going to fix it, because the bots are still going to be there. Because they were in there prior to me starting the stream there too. And the fact that it's doing this, that's super upsetting to me. Now, I don't even want to go there, Torch, but it's more of a Twitch problem. Because nobody else, I'm checking out all these other channels that are streaming just fine. So I'm not saying I'm being isolated, but if it was a wide, across the board Twitch problem, every streamer would be having the problem. So it seems to be, even though it does seem to be just isolated, this is not acceptable. Not one bit. Yeah, I don't even want to go there, I guess, with that, because to me, that's not even funny, but yeah. All right, folks, I think what I'm going to do, if you're not all 100% opposed to it, I've tested this out before. If you're on the Discord, I know some of you are, and you don't have to. I'm just laying out a suggestion. I would much rather try to do this in Discord. There won't be any VOD for it, of course. But if you want to see the progress, I guess as far as what I still got plenty of ambition, I guess, to want to go through what I was trying to show. So as long as this audio is coming through, for anybody that is in the stream, and cares to want to join the Discord, I'll do a screen share as far as what I'm doing here, if you want to. It's not, you don't have to at all, but that's what I'm suggesting. And we'll just go from there. So with all that being said, if you want to confirm or whatever in the chat that you're going to jump into Discord, or if you just want to say move on, that's fine too. Just let me know, and we'll go from there. So I'll give it a few seconds, whatever, for anybody to confirm or accept or deny, I guess, as far as going into Discord, and I'll just screen share. Because I'll probably still going to work on this anyway, regardless if I stop stream or not. Because I've got enough. That's fine with you? Okay. Alright, so that's one confirmed. Torch, where are you at? Anybody else? I don't even know. I can't tell with all the bots that are in here. Alright, so if you two, if you want to jump in to the voice chat of the Discord, this goes for anybody else that's in chat too. If you want to jump in the Rock Nation Discord, I'll put the link out here. It's also on the channel. Let's put the social. That way you can, oops, helps if I spell it right. Yeah, so there we go. So for anybody that does want to join, you can obviously hopefully still hear the audios. Click on that first link, and that'll get you into the Rock Nation Discord if you're not already. And then, if need be, I can send a invite, I guess, as far as to VC. Or if you know where the voice chat is, it's right down. If you go into the Rock Nation Discord, it's only a few channels down from once you get in there on the left-hand side. Regardless of if you're on the phone app or if you're on the desktop client. So I will be in there. If you want to join me in there, feel free. And go from there. I'm going to end the stream now. So since it's a still frame, it doesn't even matter. I'm just going to go ahead and stop it. Check y'all in the Discord.